Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to all. Uh, to all the Muslim, we begin the class by reciting the Al-Fatihah and the Salawat. Others be silent for a while. Okay. So today's class, I will inform your group for your assignment and your group for your talk. For the talk. Uh, total now, your whole class is 91 students. Okay. And I won't take any more than that. Stop at 91. So, I will share you this the grouping. Can see now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the total will be 18 groups. So the first group is 1 to 5. The bold and red color is the leader of the group. Right? Okay, I put the red color is the leader of the group. Okay. Group number 1, the leader is Gao Yu Yao. Gao Yu Yao is from China. Second group is Ali Abid, the leader. Third group is Noifah Amanina. Fourth group is Anissa Raihaina. Fifth group is Yasmin Shahira. Xiao Win Hui, the sixth group leader. The seventh group leader, Nurul Shuhada binti Abdul Wahab. The eighth group, Nur Zakirah binti Azman. Muhammad Arif Fahmi, the ninth group. Nora Fizah binti Nordin, the 10th group. Muhammad Farhan bin Abu Hassan, the 11th group. Wan Rozaini bin Wahasan, the 12th group. Muhammad Azri bin Mizra, the 13th group. Chiu Yong Kat, 14th group. Wong Shu Yin, 15th group. Xia Jiayi, 16th group. Go Yin Teng, 17th group. Ain Syafika binti Rizwan, 18th group. Nur Nabiha binti Yahya, the only group 1%. Nur Nabiha ada? Where's Nur Nabiha?
Ada, doktor.
Ada?
Ada.
Awak boleh buat seorang?
Tak boleh lah, doktor.
Ha? Tak boleh?
Tak
Terkena awak nombor 91. Macam mana Nabiha? Awak seorang yang 91. So terpaksa buat soalan lah. Boleh? Nabia?
Tak boleh kot.
Okay, awak sekali group 18
Okay.
Taja Tok Merah tu nak buat pasal suspend sikit. Nabia, jadi the last group is 6 person.
Okay, terima kasih sir.
You have the phone number semua ni kan? Contact but your assignment, your first assignment will be next Wednesday. I will reveal the first assignment. Then second assignment, after finish first assignment, I will reveal second assignment. The third assignment is talk. The talk can begin immediately. Alright? These are the grouping for your assignment. Later I'll show you the grouping for your talk. Okay, for the talk, there will be 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. So every 6 group, 1 group for the talk. Group 1 to group 6, 1 group. Group 7 to group 12, second group. Group 13 to group 18, third group. Okay? So you can discuss among the group to organize a talk. I give assignment 3, I have already given to you. And you can start doing it now. Planning and looking for the right person to give a talk. And how we measure the performance of the assignment 3 is, first of all, selection of your speakers. Make sure the speakers really can speak what according to the title of the the session. What is actually the topic that you want them to talk, right? And then they deliver what you want them to talk. Second, the organizations of the talk, right? Meaning that everything is gone smoothly. Before organizing the talk, you need to have posters, right? You need to you find the speaker first. I've chosen some of the organization that you can find the speakers. If you cannot find, you can find other organizations that related to maritime. It can be industries, it can be from the government sector, the policy makers like Jabatan Laut ataupun lembaga pelabuhan. It can be NGOs for the maritime industry. Anything about related to maritime. All right. And then if you want merit for your event, you need to register with the Lock Trend Club, right? And then all members can have merit together with your points lah, your marks. Okay, and that one I think Mr. Adam Azrai, Adam Azrai. Adam.
Ada sir.
Adam can advise you about the process because Adam is the vice president of Lock Trend Club. You're lucky because in your class they have vice president. So if you want merit for your event, you need to register with Lock Trend 2 weeks earlier, right? 2 weeks earlier. That's why you must plan first. Okay, you cannot have an event to be to have merit if the event is been organized abruptly ataupun organized ad hoc. You must plan first. At least 2 weeks in advance, you need to register. So everything is good planning lah. And then you all need to prepare reports on attendance of the sessions, on question asked, right? All right. So on some of the contents of the talk. That's why the talk need to be a very good talk. So you have some ideas, some inputs to put in the report. All right. Like last time, last time I also have 3 talks. The first talk is good, informative, maritime. The second talk is less. The third talk is less also, a little bit only. So the marks are collected by the speakers and also the organizations of the event, because the event being organized haphazard, meaning that not well organized. When I ask for poster, then only want to make poster. When I ask for this, then only want to make this. When I ask for that, then you only want to make that. Then the one is not good organization. So good organization meaning that everything being provided without being asked to. Right? That's the point that you need to you need to address. Okay. Any question about the assignment 3? Yes. Any
Sir,
question?
what kind of topic that we can choose for the talk, sir?
It's up to you. It's up to you and the speakers. Usually based on the speaker's experience and speaker's belonging, meaning that the speaker belong to which department, which organizations. Maybe they can talk about the subject matter. Right. So if you want to choose the topic, you need to discuss with the speaker. Can you deliver this topic or not? Okay. It's better for you to choose topic, because why? If you ask them to choose their own topic, maybe it happen again like last time. They talk not so much information that they give you. All right. You say to them that the duration of the talk is 1 hour. All right. 1 hour plus Q&A lah. Kan? Okay. 1 hour. Okay. So it's a CSR, meaning that there's no need to pay money. More on corporate social responsibility of the person or the organizations to the students, to the nation building. Nation building. You all is human resource for the nation in future, so nation building. So usually they don't take any money, but make sure that they really talk about the topic that suitable for the maritime. Okay, if possible, you choose a topic like I told just now, and then ask them, can you deliver this topic? If they say I cannot deliver this topic, or I can give you the names to who can deliver, it's fine. That one is good also. The other thing is that I cannot deliver this topic, but I can deliver these things about this thing. You go through. Is it okay? Fine, no problem. But don't leave it. Okay, up to you lah to whatever you want to talk. That one is wrong. It will end up like last 2 group or last time. They will talk. I don't know what they're talking about. Although the person is related to the organization of maritime, but the topic they're saying is the talk is not so much about maritime, right? So these are the things to avoid. Is you plan the topic first and discuss with the speakers, right? This will train you the communication skill, right? There are many groups involved, so every group must put their representative in on all parts, all committees. Maybe for one talk they have a few committees that find or look for speakers. Okay, committee that organize registrations of the event will not train. Committee that produce reports after finish. Committee that take note on attendance and sort of question asked. Right? Yes. So the committee established based on the requirements that you need to ensure that the whole process runs very well, smoothly, well organized, and make sure all the committees consist of all the groups in the team, in the team talk, group talk. Right? There are 6 group, 6 group for one talk session. So make sure every committee have all 6 representative of the group. There are 5% in the group. Maybe there will be 5 committees. So every group have their own representative. All right. And all group must do their work. You have many people to resource. Make sure it's well organized and smooth. I don't want to see any problem. Group that give problem, the whole group will suffer. All right, the whole sales group will suffer. All right, and they make sure all must perform. If they don't perform, they ignore. Apa nama ni? All group leaders can inform me. Or if group leaders lazy or don't perform, the members can inform me. All right. For group top, group one, maybe you would select one as a leader, as the leader of the whole group one top, and they will monitor all. Any problem, inform me. If the leader problem, the members can inform me. Don't worry. Right? The thing is that it's moving. Right? It's moving. Don't wait until last minute. Right? Although you have the whole semester to plan the time and date for the talk, but do it as soon as possible. Don't procrastinate. Don't delay, right, until last minute. Because if you delay until last minute, the problem will come. Maybe the speaker is not right. Maybe the event is not well organized. No poster, last minute doing poster, last minute report, everything is last minute. So don't do that, right? You learn the skill of managing a event. You learn the skill of leading the committees, right? You learn the skill of to communicate with the speakers, all right? So these are the assignment 3. And then the topic for the talk, you can take from all the issues about maritime. There's a lot of issues on maritime. There's commercial issues, business issues, commercial. There's policy issues. There are operation issues, right? And there's a lot of issues you can observe and can have topic on that. Any more questions? Understood? Faham tak?
So far clear.
Okay. If everything is clear, then we start our class. So I already put in the online, the portal, the grouping, assignment, and also the grouping for the talk. You can proceed. In the list, you have the phone number for all. If they still maintain the phone number, that phone number is from UUM portal. If they will not maintain the number, you ask the new numbers for them from them, right? If you go for a face to face, you need to come to the to UM to register, and for that list, for if it's happening face to face, you can even have the room number and inasis where the students staying. But now you cannot have because most students in hybrid. And then what ni PDPR for study from home. Some are hybrid. Hybrid meaning that some online, some face to face. Hopefully, this semester there is no case of COVID in UUM hopefully so that we can start face to face again next semester. All right. So I sent to you WhatsApp about the what the video, right? The TikTok. Nowadays people use TikTok, easy, as a video in the WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever. Okay. Just buat group lah cepat. Very good. So I'll share you with the video where I will explain to you why I share this video to you. Maybe you said it's nothing to do with maritime, right? You don't know yet. Wait.
Attention. Today, Public Health Malaysia announced that those who are staying at East Coast Malaysia or going to East Coast Malaysia do not eat clam because it is polluted by a very dangerous algae that will produce a toxin called oxytocin. So if you eat clams that have polluted with this oxytocin, you will have a lot of side effects. For example, like nausea, vomiting, tingling sensation, burning sensation, and so on. And in the severe case, rapid death within 12 hours will happen. You don't pada-pada think that after you cook it, then the toxin will be destroyed. No, it won't be destroyed. It is heat resistant and acid resistant. Also, this toxin is odorless and tasteless, so you won't know even if you eat it. This oxytocin is also water soluble, which means that even if you don't eat the clam itself, but you just use it to cook soup and you drink the soup, you will still get poisoned. Not only this type of clam, all these including oyster, lokam, lala are not allowed to eat until further notice. So remember to share this to your loved one.
Okay, can you hear just now?
Yes, sir.
So why? I show you, right? This is a serious pollution happening in the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, in the coastal waters of Terengganu, Kelantan, and Pahang. Usually, there are some cases before in Langkawi, area Langkawi, Penang, right? So it's very toxicating effect if you eat the clams, the cockerels, the kerang, and also the lala, ada satu lagi apa, yang panjang sikit tu, yang orang Kedah tahu dah. Pernah lupa. The one is very nice, very nice actually. Seafood is very nice actually. I really enjoy seafood actually, but it's very very dangerous if the water is being polluted. So what is the cause of the pollutions? The algae. That is why I am sending you the videos to tell you that the algae comes from maritime shipping. From where? Maybe you think about shipping, emission, pollution the air, water, oil spill, polluted the sea. But maybe you don't know about the effect of ballast water. Ballast water is being used in ship to balance the ship. That is ballast water. They're used in the ship. So in the ship, there are tanks of ballast water. Okay, the tank, they fill the tank with seawater, and they fill according to the needs and requirement of the ship stability. And this water will stay in the tank for long, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, maybe longer. We don't know. Even 3 months. When the water is been kept in the ballast tank for even 3 months, they cannot see. And when it being kept in the tank, that without without the penetration of oxygens or air, without the penetrations of the light, sunshine, they kept dark in the tank. And when they do that, the ballast water will develop microorganisms in the ballast water, right? What happens is that when they want to change the ballast water, they will release the existing water that been kept for 3 to 5 months to 6 months to 1 year. They release to the sea, and then they take a new water. When they release the ballast water from the tank to the sea, it will affect the natural microorganisms of the seawater, because this alien microorganism will be stronger than the natural one. So they will invade the existing microorganisms, and they will establish their own alien microorganism to the sea. And this microorganism will keep on developing and turn to an algae. And this algae is dangerous for the fish to eat because fish usually eat microorganisms, like they eat plankton. Plankton is very small microorganisms that eaten by the fish and the seafood. So this algae eat, and they won't kill the fish, but they will kill the one who eat the fish, who eat the seafood. That's the problem. And like like mentioned before in the WhatsApp, in the TikTok, it's odorless, it's tasteless. So you don't know what you're eating. You think you're eating healthy seafood. It's healthy, right? It's only grilled seafood. It's boiled seafood, no oil. It's healthy. You drink the soup. It's healthy. No oil involved. You think it's healthy, but actually it's dangerous. That's why the fishery department and also Jabatan Laut will monitor this. If they observe the algae is in the coastal areas, they will warn the fishing department or the fisheries or the associations not to take any fish from the area or any clams or any seafood from the area. The algae usually is in pink color, pink color. You don't think pink color is nice? It's beautiful. It's dangerous. You see in the seawater because it's algae, dangerous algae, and that algae caused by ballast water, contaminated ballast water, and that ballast water exists in every ship in the world. Every ship in the world. You're talking about 6,000 plus ships moving every day in the world. So all the ships have the ballast water tank to stabilize the ship. What happened is all the 6,000 plus ships release the ballast water to the sea and take a new seawater inside the tank. What happened to the sea? Not talking about one ship, 6,000 ships. And that's the thing will affect the seawater. So it's not only emission, the air, it's not only the oil spill, it's the ballast water also can damage the sea, can pollute the sea. See, and that's why uh, the IMO produced special conventions to deal with ballast water, to avoid some ship operators kept the ballast water too long until the ballast water is toxic poison to the sea, right? So they limit the time, 1 month or 2 months you should release. So it won't have ample time to develop a poisonous ballast water, right? If you keep the ballast water only a short while, if you keep a long time in the ballast tank, then they will develop the alien microorganisms that will affect the seawater and also affect the sea creatures, all the fish and clams. Okay, understand? We will touch about the pollution of the sea or maritime later on, but I give you in advance because the TikTok WhatsApp is quite current last week, I think. It's a serious matters, so I highlight that to you. Maybe you don't know because usually students don't look at news or don't read newspaper. They go read only social media. So that's why some effort to put informations and news in social media is good because without that, most of the youngsters, the Z generation, they don't know about anything what happened around them because they never watch news, right? Don't tell me you watch news. You never watch news, right? And you never read newspaper. You just go on social media. That's why social media need also to have informative content like this. So that be careful. Last 2 years, I think, they have in Langkawi. They ask people from staying near the Langkawi coastal areas in Kuala Kedah, Kuala Perlis, stop taking kerang ataupun seafood. Right? So because of this algae. right? Especially when you want to consume seafood near a very busy route of shipping routes. That one also dangerous. For example, Strait of Malacca is very busy. It's a very busy strait. So thousands of ships using the straits. It's nearly jammed, right, with ships. But people still take from the streets fish, seafood from the area. It's that's why you will feel different if you eat seafood from the area, Straits of Malacca, Melaka, apa nama, Negeri Sembilan, Selangor, right, from the area lah, as compared to Sabah seawater, seafood. The taste is different. Because Sabah waters is more clean, more clear and clean, because less activities in the sea as compared to Strait Malacca, full of ships and many activities involved. All right, so be careful. Okay. Any questions about that? Any question? No question. Okay.
No question, sir.
So understand, Okay. If no questions,
Yes, sir.
we begin our class. Can you see this? Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir. Total.
Okay, this is what we attached last week. All right, these are the write up for the diagram just now. Okay, the category is break bulk, new bulk, and containerized. All right, break bulk. Sometimes break bulk also is a finished cargo, finished product, but they cannot fit there. They cannot fit the containers. All right, for new bulk cargo, also a finished product. Sometimes they cannot fit the container easily, like cars, like lorries, right? They use Roro ships, right? Roro ships. Roro ships being used to move cars, imported cars, exported cars in big amount. Not only 1, 2. 1, 2 we can use container, but a big amount of cars, up to 1,000 to 100 cars, they use Roro ships. Right. Liquid bulk and dry bulk, like I told you last week, liquid bulk is usually raw materials, liquid raw materials like crude oil, LNG, and they need a special equipment at the port, like a pipeline to move the cargo from the ship to the depot and from the depot to the ships. Depot meaning that a place whereby liquid bulk cargo being kept in big containers, in big tanks, like ONG port in Kerteh, in Lakamaman, Kerteh, in Kerteh. They have many big tanks of LNG and also crude oil, and they move the cargo through pipeline. That's why sometimes they have a processing center for the liquid cargo near the port, not at the port, near the port, and they connected with the port through pipelines, because processing of ONG is dangerous area, dangerous process, and the area should be restricted and should be far away from the port. Okay. So dry bulk is also a supply supply of raw materials. They also need a special equipment at the port. Okay, usually they use a sort of like a vacuum pump. The pump is like a pipeline also. They use that. Okay, and sometimes they use bucket crane. Like the bucket crane that can carry one bucket or many tons of coal to carry from the ship to the port. And this kind of cargo need a special material handling equipment as compare as also same as container cargo. Container cargo rely mostly on specialized material handling equipment (MHE) in order to expedite the process of loading and unloading of cargoes from and to the ship. Okay, so these are the things that they need. Why? To categorize the cargo they carry. And for your information, container port is different as compared to bulk cargo port. And bulk cargo port also been differentiated between dry and bulk. Between dry bulk, liquid bulk, and also break bulk. Okay, break bulk usually they have their own crane on the ship to settle the loading and unloading. For bulk cargo like dry and liquid bulk, they need a special material handling equipment to cater for the kind of cargo. Green type of cargo, powder type of cargo, and also liquid type of cargo. For break bulk, they need a special crane that can carry in big amount the break bulk cargo. Also, maybe you can use conveyor belt, and they put the cargo and move the cargo from the ship to the ports. Okay, these are the things. So, maritime, as from what you've been highlighted today and last week, you can see the importance of maritime to the economic development of every country. Okay, every country in the world. Not only maritime country. You know what is maritime country? Maritime country is the country that been bordered by the sea. Right? They have boundaries directly to the sea. But for landlocked countries, there's no border. There's no border of the country that contact with the sea. All is being blocked by land. That's called, they call it landlocked. All been blocked and locked with lands. That is landlocked countries. There are a few countries in this world there's no coastal border with sea, but they have only borders with other countries. All right, land countries. So they call it landlocked. Although a landlocked countries, they still need a port to settle for their needs. Okay, they need a port, and this port usually linked with a seaport. It can be an inland port. Inland port usually they call it dry port. Dry port usually refer to ICD. ICD means that inland clearance depot. All the cargoes from the area being sent to this ICD, and from there they were distributed to many parts of the country and also to the port, nearest port, to be exported. And that's what they call ICD or inland port or dry port. All the same, mate. The terms are the same. The terms are different, but the meaning is the same. Okay. Although you are it's a landlocked countries, you still need the existence of seaport because, as you all know, 70% of the world is sea. So you need to use the sea for trade, right? And 90% of the trading, the world trade, is through sea. So how important is maritime, right? The key to success of every shipping organization lies in efficiency and safety of marine shipping services. As usual, any kind of services, we go for efficiency, we go for safety, either maritime, either air transport, either road, either rail, all focus on these two things. efficiency and safety, right? So maritime is the same. You're focusing on efficiency and safety, right? So what you mean by efficiency? An efficiently planned, organized, and controlled system of maritime transport is fundamental factor determining the quality, safety, and efficiency of the maritime services. So efficient meaning that you must well plan. You must well plan ahead, and then after you have do the planning, you must organize what you plan to execute the planning. Once executed, you need to control the planning so that it will produce the result that you want it to produce. The result will be you want it to produce quality, safety, and efficient of service. These are the things. Okay. All right. Shipping includes activities as follows. These are shipping activities. Booking cargo for specific vessels. Your shippers or ship owners need to find cargoes to carry, right? So they must find cargoes that suit for their vessels. If their vessel is break bulk cargo vessels, they must look for cargo that is suit for the vessels. If they're looking, if they want to use the ships are container ships, they must look for container cargo. These are the things that the ship owner need to do, right? And to do this, they need to have agents. Agency. You know agency theory? Okay. And they need to have agent to work for them, to help them, to link them, right? Then ensuring that all cargo book is planned on the intended vessel. So once you have identified the cargo and you have identified the type of cargo, and you should find or identify the type of ships can deliver the cargo. So they call it intended vessels, right? And then ensure that the cargo that is planned on the vessel is actually shipped. Once you decide the cargo and decided the type of ships suitable to carry the cargo, then only you need to ensure the cargo is being shipped, is being mobilized, moved to the destination that you are intended to go. These are the things, the activities of shipping. If you choose um, container cargoes and container ships, the other part is that to ensure the stowage planning is done properly on the vessels. Stowage planning. What do you mean by stowage planning? So you are moving a cargo, not a small amount cargo. It's a mass cargo, many cargos, right, on a ship. You cannot simply put the cargo anywhere on the ships because it will affect the stability of the ship. It will affect the gravity point of the ship. That's why you need to plan the locations of the cargo that been stuck on the ships. They call it stowage planning. Okay, so that the cargo weight distribution is equally done to ensure the stability of the ship, and also to ensure that easy loading and unloading of the cargo from the ship. You must remember the ship that you put the cargo inside. If the ship is being chartered by one company to move their cargoes is fine. Not so much of storage planning. But if you are engaging a ship that consists of many owners of the cargo inside, like liner operations, so you need to plan the storage of the cargo so that you will plan according to the port of calls. So along the routes from point A to point B, like from UK to China, how many port of calls that you have that you want to berth, you want to stay, and this port of calls should be assigned accordingly, meaning that which port comes first is first, right? And the cargo that should be stowage at the ship must be accordance with the port of calls, so that the process of loading and unloading of that cargo is easier. So the port of call that is the nearest one, the first one, should be on the top. The last one should be under the ships, in the ships, in the ship punya the lowest part of the ships. So because it's the last one. And but talking about container, the ship not only deliver the container, but they also take new containers on every port, right? That's why they need to always change the stowage plan. Let's say from London, from Port of London, the next port of call is, let's say, is in Italy. Venice ke mana-mana in Italy or Greece. So they must put the cargo for Greece at the top, right? And then when the Greece at the Greece port, they receive a new cargo to Port of China. So they must arrange back the storage plan so that the next port is Port of Jeddah, for example, right? They go to the Suez Canal, Port of Jeddah. This Port of Jeddah, you must put the Port of Jeddah cargo at the top and Port of China at the bottom part of the ship. See, they will arrange that again, so that it's easier for the movement of the cargo later on. So this need planning, where to put, where to arrange. And nowadays you have computerized apps that will help the shippers to arrange the storage, the cargo on the ship. Okay. And then ensure that all containers loaded have their VGM, verified gross mass, container weight verifications. This is about the container itself, right? The 20-footer TEUs, 20-footer equivalent unit of containers. Some containers, they don't have full load inside the containers, meaning that in one containers, the full load declared is, for example, 54,000 kilograms or 54 tons, okay, for one container full load. But VGM, verified gross mass, they need the supplier, the shippers of the cargo to verify the gross weight, the gross mass, so that they know that the container is not full loaded. Why is important to verify this gross mass? Why? Because it's dangerous. If you put an empty container, half empty container, half empty or quarter half empty, and then but yet you declare you don't verify the gross mass, the actual gross mass of the container. It's dangerous because container being stacked up on each other on the ship, right? I think more than 10 stories from the down the bottom of the ship up to the deck and above. Very, very high stacking, and the stacking is not without any pressure or load. Okay, if the container been verified the VGM, what happen is that the shipper doesn't know. They thought it's full, so they arrange the half empty container at the bottom. That one also need storage planning to verify the VGM. From the VGM, then they only can know where to store the container on the ship. Because if half full container, they cannot put at the lowest part. Why? Because it will crack, it will dismantle later on. Because you are putting weight on top of them, and by right they are not full, they half empty. What happened to the container? They were crippled, right? Because of the weight pressure to them. What happened if they cripple? The whole container stack will collapse. It will affect the whole storage planning, storage punya distribution and ship distribution weight. So it's dangerous, right? So that's why VGM is important to verify clearly what actually the weight. Not just simply full. Full container is 50,000 kilogram, for example. Did you just declare full, but actually it's not full. It will affect the process of stowing and arranging and stacking the container on the ship, right? It's many things that you need to think when you arrange mass cargo like this on a ship. And then ensure safe loading and discharging from of the cargo. Loading and unloading lah, discharging ni meaning unload lah. Right? In issuing bill of lading and other documentation for all cargo loaded. So these are important documentation that the shippers need to address to. Why? Because without that, your cargo cannot go anywhere. You will stay at the port. And that is cost. Because cargo that is not been taken by the importers will be charged demurrage. Demurrage, demurrage. They will charge you. And that demurrage is not cheap. It depends on how many container do you have stuck at the port because of lacking of documentation. If you have taken the container from the port and deliver and you take it to your factory, to your depot or warehouse, if you send the empty container late to the port also, they will charge you. They call it detention. Demurrage and detention. So you don't play the fool with supply chain activities. Every part is money. You delay is money. Delay is money. That's why when what happened now is supply chain disruptions, whereby most of the ports in the world congested with containers not being processed as efficiently, as quickly as possible because of backlog. Backlog? Backlog is because the previous container still not be settled out yet due to the closure of ports, right? Due to the pandemic. So when backlog happens, delay will creep in. When delay occurs, they will keep on charging. They don't care. They will charge. All right. When they charge, the shippers, the port will charge the shipper because of queuing ataupun parking at the ports for a long time. But the ship need to park to settle the cargo. These are the vicious cycle that affecting the shippers, right? So they will charge the ships, and that's why due to that, the cost of freight will go higher and higher because people charge detention and demurrage for delay, and the ship being charged for that, and then takkan ship nak rugi, so they will raise the freight rates to move the cargo. That is crazy. But now is going to settle down a bit because most of the ports has opened and functioning well due to the vaccination program, and hopefully the pandemic will subside, right? Hopefully, and no more third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave. It will recover later to be normal, right? Provided that the pandemic is end. Faham tak? Kalau ada lagi fourth wave, fifth wave, I think it's a big problem to the world, not to the country, to the whole world will be a problem. So it's very important how supply chain, how maritime, how air transport, how everything in this world is very connected to each other. It's very dependent on each other. If once the facility close, it will affect others. This backlog and everything, delay, congestion at the port is due to the closure of the port. Why? Due to the pandemic. Why? Because the government want to control the pandemic. They close everything. They close the port, they close the airport, and it will produce backlog of processing of cargoes. Understand? Cargo being sent, not being processed, to return back the empty container. So container is lacking. When container lacking, the cost of container increase. And all the thing will affect. See, it's like a vicious cycle. Once problem here, others will affect. Like the flow of water, you see, the flow of water, you will hold one, you hold one flow, they won't stay there. They will go other ways, and they will flood at other places. You block the places, the flow, they will flood at other places. That is the backlog effect. Right. Same for trades, and movement of the cargoes and the supply chain. So it's very dangerous. In anything happen to the world, a pandemic, a very unprecedented situation, never been experienced before this, and pandemic, never experienced before this in the world. Right. Last pandemic is 1912, I think. 1912 is way long time ago, 100 years ago. After that, no more. And then come a new one. So this is the first time the modern world facing the pandemic. But it's still the same, the impact. It will affect everything. Not only the health of the person, of the country, but also the economy of the country. Right? Okay, now we go for types of regulatory involvement. So there are three categories of regulators for maritime: international, national, and also regional. Right? International, national, and regional. Or international, regional, and national. Okay. The biggest one is international regulators. The second one is regional regulators. The third one is national levels regulators. International consists of IMO. IMO we consider it international because IMO is a body that comes under UN, United Nations, right? The purpose of IMO is to help increase and maintain worldwide maritime safety. IMO has been introduced or has been established after the First World War. First World War, I think, first or second, I don't know. Okay, because of the war, right? They don't want the commercial ships suffer from the war. Although they end the war, but when you cannot end the war abruptly, they still have side effect of the war, meaning that the shipping, the commercial shippers still suffer from the war because they're vulnerable to attacks by other countries also. So for that matter, they establish this IMO to ensure the safety, okay, to increase and maintain the safety of maritime internationally. Second one is regional. Regional ni macam region, bukan daerah atau region ni macam kawasan luas lah. Blok-blok, economic block. Right, economic block. For example, there are 10 major regional trading blocks in the world, trading block. Ada yang trading block, ada yang military block. Military block macam NATO, Non-Atlantic Treaty Organizations. That one is for military purpose only. Meaning that there are 4 countries: America, Canada, UK and certain Europe countries lah. Kan ada banyak, ada puluhan. That one is military block. Right? Kalau anything happen to the countries of the to the members country. This all countries will support or defend together. There is military bloc. This one is most referred to trading blocks in the world. So there are 10 major regional trading blocks in the world. The most active one, the most important one is ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, where Malaysia is at the center of ASEAN. APEC, Asian Pacific Economic Corporations, APEC. BRICS, ini apa lupa lah. Picture balik. EU, European Union, the one is in Europe. NAFTA, North America Free Trade Agreement. CIS, Commonwealth of Independent States. COMESA, Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa. So the bloc is Africa continent. The bloc is North America. The bloc is European countries. The bloc is Asia Pacific countries. The bloc is ASEAN countries, Asians. Right? South ASEAN Association of Regional Corporations. Mercosur, Mercado, which means Southern Common Market. This is referring to Southern American continent countries. NAFTA is not American, it's South American. Mercosur. And IOR, ARC, Indian Ocean Rim Association for Regional. So many blocks. And this block have their own regulatories on maritime. Right? Their own agreement on maritime. Right? Other than IMO just now. Right? The other one is national. National refer to, for us, national to refer to individual state, individual countries. Like we refer to Malaysia. Right? In Malaysia, maritime regulators are Jabatan Laut and respective port authorities. So these are the list of acts and laws under control of Marine Department of Malaysia. There's many acts. Ordinance Perkapalan Saudagar Pindaan 2016. Ordinance Perkapalan Saudagar 1952. Ordinance Perkapalan Saudagar 1960. Sabah and Sarawak is different. Akta Dius Api Persekutuan ni Rumah Api 1953. Akta 27250. Akta Perancangan Kapal Layar Antarabangsa Langkawi 2003. Ni registration of ships. Petroleum Safety Measures Act. This is for bunkering 1984. Petroleum Safety Measures Amendment 1991. Subsidiary tadi Akta X. Ini subsidiary law that support the act. Akta 1393. Okay, hadis pindaan atas saudagar kan, pindahan pada atas saudagar. Subsidiary law ni akta pindaan, amendments today, main act. Right? Perintah wilayah pasukan pelabuhan. All these things, akta rumah api, DCAP. And then merchant shipping order, collision regulations 1984. Kalau berlaku collisions between ships, between kapal-kapal perdagangan, ada akta dia. Merchant shipping, collision regulation, rules for vessels navigating to the Strait of Malacca and Singapore. You see, the shippers who run the ships, who operate the ships, need to know this kind of act when they go through the waters of other countries punya water. Right, they need to know this. Because you see, navigating through Strait of Malacca and Singapore, they have their rules. Merchant Ship Collection Regulation Amendments, Port Safety of Workers Rules 85, Federation Port Rules 1953. There are many rules. Boat Rules 1953, State Port Rules, Akta Perkapalan Saudagar 1998. And then you focus the Central Mercantile Marine Fund, Merchant Shipping Ordinance, focus on near coastal trade, which limit rules. Okay, oil pollution, Merchant Shipping Act, oil pollution, peraturan petroleum, this for bunkering lah. Okay, macam-macam Akta Persertaan Pelabuhan. These are the time whereby you will see the privatization of the ports management. Now, port authorities, port management, perswastaan, pengurusan port. di Malaysia. For example, PTP, North Port, South Port. Semua tu dari swasta kan. Sebab tu lebih aktif Penang Port. Alright. And then the other law is the Domestic Shipping Licensing Board. Licensing of shipping. Penang Port navigation within the area of the bridge. You know the Penang Bridge is cross a strait and the strait, right? So they also have rules how to navigate the ships area the bridge. There are 2 bridges there now, right? Right? America has machine rules for perkapalan saudagar. Medical examination rules. Ni the ship seafarers, seamen, the crew need to go for medications examinations. And merchant shipping tonnage regulation ke berat boleh bawa. And other related acts is Aktas Laut Melayu Wilayah to 2012. So these are the regulators of maritime regulators, which as you all know, consists of 3 categories: national, international, regional, and national. Okay, so these are the regulators for maritime. International is IMO. Regional is based on the trading block, and national just the country itself. It depends on the countries. Ni Malaysia kecil. There's many act and subsidiary laws. You just imagine like America is very, very big country. There's many other laws. That's why you don't trespass other countries' water, coastal waters, because you can be charged at any charge that will relate to any act that exists. Just imagine there are nearly 50 acts under in Malaysia about the sea. Kan, kalau you trespass Malaysian waters, definitely there will be one charges that will affect, they will breach the law. Definitely, right? Because there are too many laws, right? Satu mesti akan tangkupnya. Sebab tu jangan trespass other countries' coastal waters without permission. You need to ask for permission first. Okay? But you want to go through easily is in international waters. Coastal waters, dangerous. You need to have permission. But international waters, no need. Okay, but it's very far from the coastal lah, very far daripada pantai lah kan, jauh pada pantai. Itu international lah. International waters is around 50 kilometers above from the coastal border of the country. That one is international waters. That one 50 kilometers ni quite far lah. Kalau atas laut lah kan nampak jauh lah kan. Okay. So that's the thing lah. So any questions? You understand? Any question?
So far, no, sir.
Are you alert or are you sleeping? Huh?
No, sir. Alert.
Still awake, sir.
Danusha, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Chung Jing Hong. Chui Jing Hong. Are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, good. Don't sleep,
Okay.
Because I cannot check all, I just can call names. Itu pun dah nak habis kelas bercall kan. Muhammad Arif Fahmi.
Ya, betul dah.
Terus. Nur Fazilatul Najwa.
Yes, sir.
Bagus, semua tak tidur Tanvir Tanmoy.
Sir, I'm here.
Good. Tiny ada?
Yes, sir.
Ada soalan ke ni?
Ada, semua okey. Takat ni.
Okay, if no questions, good. So on Wednesday we start a new chapter on liner, I think, I'm not mistaken, and And also, I will clarify assignment 2 and 3. Alright? Assignment 1 and yang 3 ni tadi kan, talk kan, 1 and 2. Okay? Tapi I go for 1 first lah, because we finish 1, then I go for 2. Kau nak bagi tahu semua dulu, terus. Which one you prefer? To tell all one shot, or you need to one by one first?
One by one, sir.
One by one, eh? Oh, okay, okay. I go on assignment 1 first. Because sometimes I don't know what to ask you to do assignment, because every semester, same thing. So I keep on thinking how to change it, right, to be more challenging, right? Okay. Alright. So, thank you very much. Siapa ada yang tak scan lagi attendance? Ke dah semua scan lah?
Dah scan dah, Doktor.
Me, sir.
So, tak payah buka lagi dah, eh?
Sir, boleh share attendance?
Hati